You're not lost. You're in what I'm calling sort of like this void, because I've been there. You're in this void place, right? This sacred void, this in-between place where the version of you who has built everything to get you to where you are now is starting to dissolve. And the version of you who's meant to sort of lead and take over from here, she hasn't fully arrived yet. This, my friend, is exactly where everything is going to start to change. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Power in the Pause podcast. I hope you guys are doing well today. I am coming to you today to talk about something that's actually really been weighing on my heart. And I feel like it is something that a lot of us are going through and not necessarily admitting to maybe ourselves or anyone outside of ourselves. And so today's episode is all about what happens when you outgrow who it is that you were. And I'm here to tell you that you're not lost. You're in what I'm calling sort of like this void, because I've been there. I have actually been in that place. And I want to have an honest conversation with you today about this and what I've learned and what my own experience has been, because I do believe that it is going to help those of you listening to today's episode. And it's really for those of you who are listening right now who are, quietly thinking to yourself, like, God, things just don't feel like they fit, or things that once did don't, or I don't feel like myself right now, but I don't know who it is that I'm becoming. And I want you to know that you're not lost, you're not stuck, okay? You're in this void place, right? This sacred void, this in-between place where the version of you who has built everything to get you to where you are now is starting to dissolve. And the version of you who's meant to sort of lead and take over from here, she hasn't fully arrived yet. And the way that I would describe it is it feels a little disorienting, and hell yeah, it's uncomfortable. But this, my friend, is exactly where everything is going to start to change. And if you've been following me, you know that I went to Egypt in March. And I went headfirst into this sacred void moment as soon as I got back from Egypt. Now, this was my second trip to Egypt. And the first time was shortly after my mom had passed away, and I was feeling very numb in the experiences that I was having in Egypt. And so I knew going back a second time, it was really going to open me up. I didn't know how, but I was open to whatever the experiences were. And something big shifted in me while I was there, and it landed in me the second I got home. And while I don't have the exact words to explain all of what happened, what I can tell you is that when I came back, I knew I couldn't keep leading the way that I had been, because something in me had shifted. I came back and so many things felt off. Like how I once taught didn't feel right. What I spoke didn't feel like they were my words anymore. The way that I had my business structured didn't feel good for me anymore. And it was like I walked back into my business and my life, but yet my internal nervous system was completely rewired. And I tried to just be like, okay, when everything settles, like it'll be fine. I'm just going to keep going. It's going to be fine. Part of that was also thinking like, well, you had all this plan, so just follow the plan, follow the strategies. But here's what the problem was, is that my body, my energy was like, no. And I was forcing things, and things weren't landing the same way. And at first I was like, oh, I'm just tired. I'm just burned out. you came back from this like life-changing experience and, you're just a little lost coming back. No, that's what I told myself. But I was actually going through a very sacred transition, and it was really a rebirth. And it was starting to become very apparent that it was time for me to slow down again and to listen. And so I gave myself permission to be in that sacred space, that sacred void, as I called it at the beginning of this episode, right? It was uncomfortable, it was really unclear, and it was super, super stretchy for me, right? That's what I'm calling the sacred void. And it's where this old identity can exist. It has to be released. And it's this place too where like nothing that you used to know makes sense, but yet everything inside of you knows that it's time to show up differently. Your frequency of the nervous system within you has totally been rewired. And here's the thing, right? Like we try to go into denial, right? Oh, I can unsee all the things I saw or unknow what it is that I now know. But what I can tell you from my own experience is you sure as hell cannot keep pretending that the old way still fits. And it's really in that moment where success stops feeling like alignment and it starts feeling like a costume you're wearing. It feels like you're performing. And what felt the hardest to me was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of how I felt. And I didn't have a new game plan. I just had a sensation and a feeling in me that I knew something was different, right? It was that yes in my body that yes, it's different. But I was like, okay, where's the clarity, right? Okay, God, where's the clarity? So here's what I'm going to tell you is that if you are in this place, if you are having your own Egypt moment, right, where everything looks the same, but nothing feels the same, here's what I want to tell you, okay? And take it from someone who has tried to do all these things and it doesn't work. And I'm going to tell you what did instead, okay? You don't need to rush clarity. You don't need to pivot and create a new plan, okay? Stop doing. What you get to do instead is create space. Because in that space that you create, in the slowdown, in the pause, is where your truth, your wisdom, your intuition, God will speak to you. And it also requires you to have the courage to take off the costume, to stop performing, to get off the stage because it's not working. And instead, I'm inviting you to start listening to the part of you that knows what's next, that knows what is your truth. And that is what I did. Okay, I've restructured how I show up in my business with my clients. I have shifted, even after announcing workshops, I've shifted the name and the focus because it didn't feel aligned anymore. And I've also softened the way I speak. And I say that because your power is in your softening. Your power is in that softening, which is what I call your feminine. And guess what happened, right? Guess who showed up? A lot more people because they felt the shift in me and they started showing up differently too, right? That's the power of honoring this sacred void that you're in. Because what I have learned is that that is the birthplace of where your inner truth, your inner alignment lives and how it is that you are here to show up. So if you're somebody who is going like, oh my God, Wendy, you see me, you get me, right? If you feel like I just described something that you haven't been able to either say out loud or have the right words for, I want you to know this, okay? Right here, right now. You are not behind. You're not. You're actually becoming. You're in that becoming space, which to me used to be scary, but it is so freaking exciting. You're in this sacred pause. And I'm here to tell you, I don't want you to think that the sacred void means that there's emptiness. It's not. It's actually very full. It's full of everything that is coming next. That as you give yourself permission to slow down, it will all start revealing itself. It's all there. And you don't need to know what it is to trust it. Just trust that it's already there and it will appear. And it will appear when you finally say yes, when you let yourself expand through these moments, and when you trust life, when you trust that there is a higher vision at play. I'm curious to know what landed for you today, what it is that you heard. Maybe it's something that you want to admit and say out loud. Send me a DM on Instagram or Facebook at Wendy Page Sterling, or send me an email, Wendy at Wendy Page Sterling. I would love to hear from you what it is that you're experiencing or how this episode spoke to you today or gave you permission to admit that you're in the same place too. And I'd love to be able to support you in any way possible. So don't be afraid to reach out. I encourage you. It is me who will reach out to you because I see you. And I know that you're not who you were and you're not yet who you're becoming, but you are already that version of you. I see you. I see her. Thank you guys for tuning into this week's episode. If you think that you know somebody who would benefit from hearing this episode, I encourage you to please share it and also to leave a review so that more people find this particular podcast as well as this episode. Also, leave a 5-star rating. I so appreciate you. Sending you so much love and light always. Mwah. I'll see you guys in the next show. Bye, everybody.